On 1st June 2019, football secretly deleted one rule from its tactics. A rule no one bothered to even notice. Gegenpressing was really on the peak of its dominance at that time, and due to its fear, passing became riskier, and more teams tried to just avoid it. But as the next year arrived, one coach from Italy noticed something unusual. He saw a gap that would about to expose gegenpressing, and soon gonna give rise to a new passing style. A style that hacks pressing into its weapon, is more dangerous than tiki-taka, and make even the weakest play like the elites.
Jurgen Klopp's face says it all. He knows it's done.
This is the insane rise of Roberto De Zerbi.
If the pressure starts from the number 8, finish at number 8.
Roberto's one of the most influential managers in the last 20 years.
Take a look at these two images. The first one is from 2019. Compare it with this. The center backs are much closer to the keeper, right? Before 2019, only the goalkeeper was allowed to stay inside until the first pass is made by him. But after football removed this rule, you would see others too staying inside for the first pass. And to know the real reason, we need to go back in time to the early 2010s. It was the time when teams dominated games by keeping the ball for long. The more you have the ball, the higher the chances your opposition make mistakes. And the moment that mistake appeared, you attacked the space it created. But by 2014, there was a shift. A system from Germany literally challenged tiki-taka by saying, if you want the ball, then keep it, but we dare you to pass it around us. So instead of sitting deep, teams started to press right from the start and made every pass felt like escaping a running train.
Exactly the same. So you win the ball back in a high on the pitch, and you are close to the goal. So it's only one pass away from a really good opportunity most of the time.
And with the old build-up rule still in place, the center backs had to stay outside the box. So due to the close proximity, this allowed the pressing teams to add even more numbers on the first receiver. So the keeper had no choice but to go long or diagonal. As a result, short build-ups became a luxury, which only big teams could afford, while most games usually used to look like this. So, in order to revive the excitement of build-up play, football introduced this new rule. But the gegenpressing teams didn't hold back. They started pressing even higher. But in doing so, they were about to expose their biggest weakness. And that weakness was heavily replayed by one coach from Italy, who ended up creating a whole new system around that. Before we get ahead, I want you to look at this team stats from FotMob. You see, in almost every attacking stat, Brighton were literally inside the top 3, and in some instance, they were even ahead of Man City. And this explains why even Pep Guardiola couldn't ignore De Zerbi when he was at Brighton.
So Brighton is a master, and this is the best team in the world. The best.
Because of all these, I personally use FotMob for all my football research and fact-checking, as this is the place where you can get live scores, in-depth game stats, and latest news. So if you're a curious fan like me, or even a professional analyst, I bet this is one of the most user-friendly football apps out there. So download FotMob from the link in the description and pinned comment, and it's totally free. So thank you, FotMob, for making this video possible. It was the year 2010. A player named Roberto De Zerbi was playing for a Romanian football club, while most of his teammates used their free time to relax. De Zerbi used to spend hours watching replays of Pep's Barcelona, and as a number 10, he got so influenced by their fearless possession football, he decided to retire and become a football manager at age 33. Just like Pep, the first thing he didn't like as a manager was long balls, as he believed kicking the ball long and trying to win the second ball is a bet that I don't like to take.
Do you describe your own football philosophy?
To keep the ball, to enjoy with the ball, to be protagonist on the pitch.
And just like protagonist, he always wanted to be leading actor who has the ball and gets all the attention from the crowd. But unlike Barcelona or Man City, De Zerbi was not fortunate enough to have a team who can play like that. So he had only two choices: either play the usual low block and attack on break that he hated the most, or find a new solution. A solution that could protect his philosophy and still work with limited players. But suddenly, in 2019, football changed this rule. And with this change, De Zerbi observed that within the pressing teams, the gap between the front line and back line is started to increase. So he thought, if I somehow pull the oppositions even deeper, this gap will further increase. And if I somehow manage to get the ball into that gap, then I just have the back line to face. This means I can keep the ball and create a counter-attacking scenario at the same time. And of course, he was not the only one who identified this pattern, as others too started targeting that gap. Some tried sideway passes to open up that space, while others played long balls into it. But what De Zerbi about to do was the most dangerous. He just want to get the ball straight through the middle against this high press. And to achieve that, remember that Spanish sport with the bull and red cloth? Just like this guy's job is to make the bull angry, De Zerbi made his players do this. This literally tells the opposition, I'm not gonna move, I dare you take the ball from me. And the moment opposition gets triggered, De Zerbi quickly raises his red cloth, and within seconds, you reach your destination, just like magic.
Perché la suola inconsciamente dà all'avversario la voglia di venirti a pressare in maniera più violenta, in maniera più forte, che in realtà è quello che stai cercando tu di fare.
But how exactly he raised that red cloth? This is where he explained the formula.
If the pressure starts from the number 8,
so he's cutting this 8 off.
we finish at number 8.
What he meant was, the moment the opposition get triggered to press the ball carrier, De Zerbi wants the ball to reach the player behind that presser. But instead of passing him directly, De Zerbi employs a third player to move towards the ball carrier and act as a stepping stone. But why not directly? Just imagine, as a receiver, you have to fully focus on the passer. So the moment you receive the ball, you have to turn your entire body to move forward. And by that time, you got multiple markers ready to close you down. But when you have a third player who is receiving the ball on behalf of you, it pulls nearby markers towards him as a bait. Also, you don't need to turn fully either. So when the ball finally reaches you, you're already moving forward and have enough space to look for the next pass.
2 meters, 3 meters
This space is too
fire
much. Yeah.
this distance, and he can play with different body shape.
As you can see, pressers wasted their energy on these two players, so they just gave up on the final receiver. Also, when you connect this movement, it looks like an S shape. As a result, it got a nickname as the De Zerbian S. And this S shape has multiple variations like this. For example, here the striker becomes the third man, allowing the midfielder to have a full forward angle to play the final pass into the space created by the forward. But if there is not a third man available at the moment, then De Zerbi make his player do this. Here instead, playing the ball back, the receiver moves along with the ball with a quick opposite turn. This baits his presser, as due to his forward momentum, he gets outpaced and unable to track him. So when you have a build-up system that literally uses opposition's press to their advantage, just imagine being a gegenpressing team, as this was the attacking chart of a game between De Zerbi and Klopp. It's blue everywhere. And it was that moment the cracks of gegenpressing started to be visible.
Jurgen Klopp's face says it all. He knows it's done.
And the trend of short passing revived again. But that short passing is really different than Pep's tiki-taka. Let's compare their tactics with music. Pep's attack sounds like this. It starts with slow tempo and gradually it starts to rise when the spaces start to open up. Now compare this with De Zerbi. Just like Pep, it starts slow, but then there's a sudden rise of tempo. That's almost impossible to stop.
Brighton is a master to have to pass the ball to the man free, but when I have to pass the ball to the man free. They had to move in the right time, and this is the best team in the world, the best.
And due to this uniqueness, Pep had to take inspiration from De Zerbi's innovations and bring them into his own system. And it's not just Pep. Remember that invincible season of Xabi's Leverkusen? This was their passing. And now, this is Enrique's PSG, who later won the Champions League. Now let's understand how De Zerbi actually used to set up Brighton in a tactical simulation. De Zerbi is known for his deep 4+2 build-up, so he usually sets up in a 4-2-3-1 shape. and within it, the center backs holds the position with the ball, with the keeper acting as ball player. This helps to follow their famous invite the bull approach. While one of the pivots often plays as a deep-lying playmaker, so he can act as the third man, helping move the ball to his partner under pressure. Now moving to the team instructions. No matter how average the squad is, De Zerbi always wants a positive mentality. And in possession, this is where it gets interesting. In build-up, De Zerbi's main aim is to play out from the back and focus on passing through the press. And in that, passing needs to be short, and the tempo can be higher to break the press quickly. Now, speaking about transition, even though De Zerbi troubled Klopp's gegenpress, he still uses counter-pressing when his team loses the ball in the final third. And out of possession, just like Pep, De Zerbi prefers a high defensive line, combined with a mid-block to control space and pressure. However, with more and more teams started inheriting De Zerbi's ideas, the weaknesses slowly began to appear in that. Recently, teams have started using a new kind of press, a press that directly blocks De Zerbi's build-up. For instance, if one player leaves his marker to press the ball carrier, quickly another one will mark that free man, no matter where the ball is. So even if the third man comes to receive the ball, there is no free man to pass for him. And the moment they prefer to go long, the pressing team quits their man-to-man press and attacks the receiver from all sides. And this is what we now call as hybrid pressing, a press that is controlled at start and ends in chaos. So as we can see, no system or pattern stays perfect forever. If few are using it, then it's working. But if everyone are using it, then you are in trouble. But for De Zerbi, it's not about his crazy system. It's about mentality. Just hear this.
And I was surprised one of the first training sessions when he asks the players to commit. Because I heard commit so many times with Pep, and it's probably one of the first coach other than Pep that I heard saying this. Honestly, I had the feeling to be at City.
When most clubs were fearing to build up against gegenpress, this man pulled his players right from their zone of comfort and placed them in front of their fears. And in doing this, he may not won any trophies for his clubs, but he did one thing. He gave hope to them that they can be strong and can play like the elites, which a trophy wouldn't have done.
He changed my life last season. There's no doubt about that. Whatever he wants from me, I'll give him no problem.
But while De Zerbi is one of the most loved managers in the world, there is one man who's said to be the most hated coach, especially in Spain, as most news articles accused him for playing a style that is ruining football. So what exactly is his tactic that made him the villain? Let's find out in this video.